When a woman is deeply attracted to you, her energy begins to shift in a way that's hard to define, but unmistakable when you know what to look for. And one of the first signs, often overlooked by most men, is her presence. I'm not talking about her simply showing up physically. I mean the kind of presence that feels deliberate, tuned in, and emotionally attentive. You see, in today's world where distractions are the norm and everyone seems to be glued to their screens or split between multiple conversations, true presence is rare. But when a woman feels a genuine attraction toward you, everything else fades into the background. It's as though the noise of the world is silenced for her the moment you enter the space. Her focus, her body language, her expressions, all of it begins to revolve around you. You'll notice that when you speak, she's actually listening and not just waiting for her turn to talk. She's absorbing, she's nodding in rhythm with your thoughts. Her eyes don't wander. Her fingers don't twitch toward her phone. In fact, she may put her phone face down or tuck it into her bag without a word, because she's not trying to multitask when she's with you. She wants to be fully present. That right there, that's not random. That's interest. Her reactions to your words are also sharper. You might share something small, like a story about your day, an old memory, or even a passing thought, and she catches on to the nuance. She brings it up later. She remembers details. That means she's not just hearing you, she's feeling what you say. Because when attraction runs deep, even the mundane becomes meaningful. She also becomes emotionally responsive. You'll find that when you're excited, she matches that energy. When you're being serious or vulnerable, her tone softens. There's an emotional attunement that builds without her even realizing it. It's full force, women. It's like she's trying to sync with your rhythm, not because she's pretending, but because she wants to understand you on that level. This level of presence might not always come with grand gestures, but it's in the subtle things, like the way she maintains eye contact, not in a forced, awkward way, but in a soft, curious gaze that doesn't flinch or turn away. She watches you when you talk, but not in a superficial way. Her eyes are scanning for meaning, for insight, for a sense of who you are beneath the surface. And let's not forget time. She's not rushing the moment. She's not glancing at the clock, making excuses, or mentioning how busy she is. In fact, you might linger even after the conversation naturally ends. Maybe she brings up a new topic just to stretch the moment a bit longer. She's creating space for the two of you to connect, and that kind of effort is rarely accidental. There's also a shift in her tone. Her voice may become more melodic, softer, warmer. She may laugh more easily around you, not because what you said was overly funny, but because she's open, more relaxed in your presence. Her guard comes down. She leans in a little more, literally and emotionally. This level of engagement is her way of saying out words, I see you. I value this moment with you. I want to be here. And while you might think, well, maybe she's just being nice, here's the truth. Most women don't give this kind of presence to just anyone. It takes emotional investment. It takes interest. It takes desire. You could be in a room full of people, yet her energy will tell you the only one she's paying attention to. She becomes emotionally available, intellectually curious, and physically attentive. This is the kind of presence that doesn't scream attraction. It whispers it, but when you notice it, you can feel the shift in the air. One of the most fascinating and often unnoticed behaviors of a woman who is deeply attracted to you is her tendency to mirror your actions. It's subtle. It's unconscious. And unless you're paying close attention, it might fly right past you. But once you learn to recognize it, you'll begin to see it everywhere. Mirroring is one of the brain's natural ways of creating rapport and closeness. It's not something that's done out of politeness or habit. It's instinctive. And when a woman starts doing this around you, it's a sign that her attraction has moved from surface-level curiosity to something much more connected and emotionally intimate. Let's take a moment to understand what mirroring actually is. It's when a person unconsciously imitates the gestures, speech patterns, posture, or even breathing of another person. It's a powerful form of nonverbal communication that shows alignment, empathy, and connection. For a woman who's drawn to you on a deeper level, mirroring is her body's way of saying, I'm in sync with you. I feel safe around you. I want to match your energy. Now, you might be wondering how this looks in real life. It doesn't happen in big, dramatic ways. You won't see her suddenly copying everything you do like a mime. That would be unnatural. What really happens is much more organic and much more telling. For instance, you may lean forward during a conversation, and a few seconds later, without even thinking about it, she leans in too. You cross your arms, and a few moments later, she does the same. You take a sip of your drink, and she lifts hers shortly after. These aren't coincidences. They're cues from her subconscious that she's connecting with you on an unspoken level, This kind of behavior also extends to the rhythm of your speech. If you tend to speak slowly and thoughtfully, she'll naturally slow down her own speech to match your pace. If your tone is relaxed and calm, hers may soften to meet it. It's not about mimicry. It's about creating harmony. And that harmony is often a reflection of her emotional openness towards you. There's something deeply intimate about this kind of silent synchronization. You're not just having a conversation, you're sharing energy. Her body aligns with yours, not because she's trying to impress you, but because she feels comfortable around you. This is where attraction gets layered. It's no longer just about physical appearance or chemistry. It's about emotional resonance. Sometimes mirroring even shows up in the phrases she starts to use. You might notice that after spending time with you, she picks up on your slang, your favorite expressions, or even your way of framing thoughts. Again, this isn't done consciously. It's her way of emotionally and intellectually sensing with you. She's not just trying to understand your words. She's stepping into your world little by little. What's even more telling is that she may not mirror other people the same way. If you observe her interactions with others, she might seem polite, friendly, but a little more detached. But with you, there's this effortlessness. Her reactions, her posture, her gestures, they start to align in ways that signal something deeper. It's a kind of intimacy that doesn't require touch or confession. It's built silently, moment by moment, through body language and energetic cues. In some cases, she may even preempt your actions. You go to speak and she leans in before the words are out. You pause in thought and she gives you space without needing to fill the silence. That's not just empathy. It's attunement. It's her way of saying, I feel where you are and I'm right there with you. What makes mirroring so powerful is that it bypasses logic and goes straight to the emotional core. She may not even realize she's doing it, and you reveal the traits, women. You might overlook it if you're not paying attention. But once you start seeing it for what it is, a sign of genuine interest, connection, and trust, it becomes impossible to ignore. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, one of the most telling signs, yet one that often slips under the radar, is how her appearance subtly shifts when she knows she'll be in your presence. This isn't about vanity. It's not about seeking general attention from the world. It's about something more intentional, more personal. It's about you. Whether she realizes it or not, a woman who desires you on a deeper level begins to express that desire through the way she presents herself around you. This change is often quiet, elegant, and laced with intention. And while it might be obvious to the average person, it speaks volumes when you know what to look for. Let's begin with the effort. There is a kind of quiet preparation that happens behind the scenes. She may spend extra time choosing her outfit, doing her hair, or picking the right accessories, not to impress everyone, but to feel confident and magnetic in front of you. And here's where the magic least she often won't overdo it. In fact, the change might be so subtle that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. But something will feel different. She looks radiant. She carries herself with an elegance that seems to bloom only when you're around. It could be something as simple as swapping out her usual neutral lip balm for a subtle but alluring red. Maybe she ditches the oversized hoodie and slips into something that frames her silhouette just a little more. Her perfume might linger longer, more deliberate. Her hairstyle might be more polished, or she might wear her hair in a way she once heard you liked. These aren't coincidences. They're silent invitations for you to notice her, to see her beyond the surface. The interesting part is that she may not always make this shift in a flashy or dramatic way. In fact, many women who are truly attracted to someone prefer the understated approach. She's not trying to announce herself to the room. She's trying to capture your attention specifically. There's a refinement in that kind of preparation. She doesn't need to scream her presence. She wants you to feel drawn to it. And it's not just about clothing or makeup. It's in the way she moves. Her posture may become more graceful. She might walk with a bit more sway in her hips or sit with poise, subtly creating angles that draw the eye. There's an unconscious awareness of her femininity when she's in your orbit, almost as if she's highlighting it without saying a word. It's not about seduction in the traditional sense. It's about expression, her desire to be seen by you, to feel beautiful in your presence, and to communicate that she values the moments you share. You may even notice that her style seems to evolve the more she sees you. There might be small upgrades here and there, new earrings, a different hairstyle, shoes that look just a little too new to be old favorites. These changes aren't just about fashion. They're signals, and they speak to her readiness to be perceived by you in a way that feels intentional and emotionally exposed. Some of the most powerful signals come from her overall energy. She glows differently. There's a vibrancy that surrounds her. Her skin might not be wearing more makeup, but it looks more luminous. Her smile seems more relaxed, more frequent. Her eyes meet yours with a little more sparkle, as if she's silently asking, "Do you see me?" What makes this even more compelling is that these shifts often come from a place of vulnerability. It takes courage for a woman to show up in a way that invites being truly seen. She's opening a door, one that says, "I've thought about this moment. I want to look good for me, but also I hope you notice." And whether she says it or not, the message is clear. Your presence inspires her to rise, to elevate, to align with the energy of attraction she feels when you're near. There's something undeniably powerful about touch, especially when it's subtle, unspoken, and layered with emotion. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, one of the ways that attraction reveals itself is through physical proximity and casual touch. These gestures aren't loud or overly forward. In fact, most of the time, masked in what seems like ordinary behavior, but don't be fooled by how natural they appear. These moments are rarely accidental. They are small, deliberate acts of connection wrapped in everyday motions. When a woman is drawn to you on a deeper level, she starts finding reasons to be near you, not just emotionally, but physically. You'll notice that she tends to gravitate toward your side of the room. She chooses the seat next to you, even if there are plenty of others. She leans in when you speak, not because she can't hear you, but because she wants to be closer to your energy. She might stand close enough that your arms nearly brush, or that you can feel her presence even when neither of you are speaking. This isn't about invading personal space. It's about creating a shared one. Physical closeness becomes her way of bridging the gap between casual and intimate. It's how she starts to blur the lines carefully between friendship and something more. But here's where it gets even more interesting. She knows how to make it seem effortless. She might laugh and gently nudge your arm. She might touch your shoulder to get your attention, or place her hand on your back in a crowded room as she walks past. These moments are often brief, but they linger. And the reason they linger is because they carry intent. A woman who is not attracted to you may still be kind, warm, and physically expressive, but there's a difference in the energy. When touch is infused with attraction, it's slower, more thoughtful. It's charged, even if it's subtle. You feel it before you understand it, and often so does she. Sometimes she'll initiate the contact almost without thinking, then pull back slightly, uncertain if she's revealed too much. There's a dance between expression and restraint, between what she wants and what she feels safe showing. Even her non-touching gestures speak volumes. She might mirror your movements to create unspoken closeness, but beyond that, she uses body positioning to stay within your reach. If you shift slightly to the side, she'll adjust too. If you step back, she might lean forward just a bit. There's a rhythm to it. She's attuned to your movements, and she lets you know without words that she's there, tuned in, and ready to connect if you're open to it. Sometimes these gestures are wrapped in playfulness. She may jokingly hit your arm during a light tease, or give you a gentle push while laughing at something you said. These moments seem playful on the surface, but underneath them is a current of flirtation. It's her way of testing comfort, of feeling out how safe it is to express desire in a physical, yet non-threatening way. In more emotionally charged moments, she may touch her own face, hair, or lips while talking to you. These are subconscious cues, signs that she's focused on how she appears in your eyes, that she's aware of her body and yours in shared space. Her hands might rest on the table close to yours, leaving just enough space for her to close the distance if you wanted to. That's not just body language, it's emotional vulnerability in physical form. What makes this form of attraction so unique is how naturally it's woven into conversation, laughter, and even silence. She's not asking for permission to be near you, she's simply being near you again and again until that closeness becomes a normal part of your dynamic. That's her way of establishing intimacy without the pressure of words. When a woman is deeply attracted to you, there comes a moment where the interaction begins to shift from surface-level banter to something much more raw and personal. You'll feel it. The tone of your conversations begins to change. The laughter still lingers, but now it's laced with something deeper. She's no longer just talking to fill space. She's opening herself up little by little, offering pieces of her world that she doesn't just hand out to anyone. This is where emotional intimacy begins to bloom, and one of the clearest signs of her deep attraction is her willingness to share her vulnerabilities with you. Vulnerability doesn't always come wrapped in dramatic confessions or tear-filled stories. Sometimes it starts with a subtle shift in her voice, a quiet admission about something that didn't go right in her life, or a glimpse into a fear she usually hides behind a polished smile. These are not casual revelations. These are invitations. They're her way of saying, I trust you enough to let you see the parts of me I usually protect. And that trust, that quiet revealing, is a powerful marker of emotional connection. She might start by sharing stories from her past, experiences that shaped her, lessons she learned the hard way, or moments she felt lost and unsure. Pay attention to the way she shares them. It's not for attention or sympathy. It's to be understood. She's letting you in, allowing you to see who she truly is beyond the curated version that the world gets. She's trying to bridge the emotional gap between you, trying to create something real, something rooted in emotional truth rather than just flirtation or charm. And when a woman begins to ask you questions that go beyond the surface, that's another layer of emotional intimacy unfolding. She wants to know more than what you do for a living or what your favorite food is. She's curious about your childhood, your regrets, your beliefs, your fears, especially the ones you rarely talk about. She asks these things not to pry, but to connect. She's trying to understand how you feel, not just what you think. And she's hoping you'll mirror that openness. Because emotional intimacy is a two-way street, and when she begins to walk down it, she's hoping you'll walk beside her. There's also a softness in her energy when she begins to open up in this way. Her defenses lower, her need to impress fades. She's no longer concerned with appearing perfect. In fact, she might start to reveal her flaws on purpose just to see how you respond. Will you judge her? Will you pull away? Or will you lean in? That's the silent test she's giving you, not in a manipulative way, but in the way that anyone who's been hurt or guarded learns to navigate emotional closeness. If she senses safety in your presence, she'll go even deeper. You might also notice that she starts to turn to you in moments of uncertainty. She asks your opinion not because she can't make a decision, but because she values how you see things. She begins to depend on your emotional presence. It could be something as small as venting about a hard day or something more personal, like confiding in you about a struggle she's facing. Either way, it's her way of saying, your perspective matters to me. Your support matters. When a woman seeks emotional intimacy, she's not just offering you her story, she's offering you space inside her world. She's making room for you in her thoughts, her emotions, and her life. She wants to build something rooted in emotional resonance, not just attraction. And even though she may never say it directly, every word she shares, every memory she revisits, and every fear she confesses is a step toward the deeper bond she's hoping to create with you. So often we look for attraction in bold moves. Grand gestures, obvious flirtation, loud declarations. But the truth is, when a woman is deeply attracted to you, the signs are far more subtle, more soulful, and infinitely more powerful. She becomes present in ways that pull you in. She mirrors you, not to imitate, but to align with your rhythm. Her appearance shifts, not for attention, but to feel beautiful in your eyes. She finds ways to be physically near you, letting closeness speak where words might fall short. And perhaps most telling of all, she begins to open her heart, sharing pieces of her inner world in hopes you'll meet her there with honesty and depth. These aren't just behaviors. They're expressions of emotional vulnerability. They're silent ways of saying, I see something in you that's worth leaning into. And if you're aware, if you're present, and if you're ready to receive it, you'll begin to understand the difference between surface attraction and true connection.